I love Bjørn Lomborg's response to climate alarmism. While the alarmists want to destroy civilization in order to save it, Lomborg's approach is more compassionate, more efficient. But he's starting from the wrong premise.
So I'm going to take you through what I think is the better story, but we can only get people to listen to the better story if we walk them through reality first. So look, global warming, real, it's man-made.
His response is better, but his belief that there is a problem with global warming in an ice age is misguided at best. Solving something which is not a problem is a bit backwards.
But it's often also exaggerated and one-sided. And that leaves us badly informed. That's one of the reasons why pretty much everyone believes global warming is going to be the end of the world. No, it's not.
If only he were to do a correlation study of CO2 and temperature, he would likely want to change his premise, that global warming is man-made. It isn't. And how much humans have contributed is so tiny that it is lost in the noise of far more potent forcing factors.
There are two types of correlation: accidental and cause and effect. Accidental means that two events occur at the same time, but are not related to one another. In other words, one does not cause the other. Scientists are more interested in the cause and effect variety. In 2022, a correlation study was done, which proves CO2 does not drive global warming.
The correlation study shows that the modern warm period is the coldest of the Holocene's 10 major warm periods, 1,000-year cycle, and its relationship to the Industrial Revolution was largely, if not entirely, accidental. While the period of the last 100 years has a strong positive correlation coefficient of about plus 0.9, the previous few centuries have correlation coefficients of plus 0.723, plus 0.564, minus 0.794, plus 0.244, and minus 0.951. In other words, with figures from strong positive to strong negative, the current strong correlation is shown to be an artifact of chance. Another wrinkle on correlation involves the direction of causality. Just because two factors have a consistently strong, positive correlation does not tell us which one of those factors is the cause and which one is the effect. We now know that one time scale has a consistently strong, positive set of correlation coefficients, but that it is temperature which drives CO2 into and out of the oceans as a dissolved gas. Another dead giveaway came in Al Gore's infamous award-winning fantasy, An Inconvenient Truth, 2006. His 650,000-year graph showed CO2 and temperature changing in lockstep with a very strong, positive, and consistent correlation. In fact, this is the only time scale with such a strong, positive, and consistent correlation. When we view this time scale at the coarseness of 100,000-year intervals, we have correlation coefficients ranging from plus 0.851 to plus 0.964. When we drill down into the data and look at the finer level of 10,000-year intervals, we see that correlation is strongly positive for the most part, but with a few exceptions. This can be a function of data quality or of other forcing factors intermittently overwhelming the larger pattern. More study required. But Al Gore debunked himself in his film because he showed CO2 levels skyrocketing, but temperature was not also skyrocketing. The modern warm period started right on schedule, and we would have had warming with or without CO2 from the Industrial Revolution. But because the modern warm period is the coldest of the Holocene's 10 major warm periods, CO2 cannot have had a very large part of the warming of the last 260 years. Nature did not suddenly take a vacation when humans contributed more CO2. Based on Gore's big graph and similar data from other sources, we should have had plus 17 degrees Celsius of warming based on the scale of CO2 increase of the last 2.5 centuries, but we didn't.
The greenhouse hypothesis relies solely on the absorption and emission spectra by certain gases of infrared radiation. Newsflash! Infrared radiation travels at the velocity of light, 186,000 miles per second, nearly 300,000 kilometers per second.
So we shouldn't have to wait very long for extra CO2 to produce a significant portion of the predicted plus 17 degrees Celsius of warming. With CO2 levels at 150% of their levels at the start of the Industrial Revolution, we should only have to wait a few hours for temperature to catch up, not decades or centuries. By all means, check out Lomborg's lecture. Link to the original video is in the description. It's very informative. But keep in mind that his far saner plans are based on a faulty starting premise. And we have to ask ourselves, is there anything lost or overlooked by basing our analysis on a faulty starting premise? We want to have good plans gain strong support. How much of that support is lost if good guys like Lomborg accept the big lie as true?